So what you're saying is, Twilight, you didn't actually defeat Allura. Instead, you just locked her away in some ice world?
Correct. I thought about just annihilating her, but then I remembered that she's supposed to show up in G5. So I did the next best thing.
So Allura is still a threat, only that future generations are gonna have to deal with that. Are you really okay with that?
Why not? Chances are I won't even be alive when it becomes relevant again. And you definitely won't be, so why worry about it? That's future Equestria's problem now. Same as Opaline.
Oh yeah, Opaline! I wonder what became of her ever since she flew off on us.
Funny you would ask that, Rainbow, because I figured when I was at it, I could also set up the status quo for another plot of G5. So I tracked her down and locked her inside our castle. By the way, she's been real busy between now and her creation. She built an entire castle on a cliffside. And thanks to me, she gets to enjoy it for centuries to come.
And why exactly did you lock her in there? She didn't do anything evil. As of yet, at least.
True, but she's gotta get locked up in that castle eventually. So I figured, might as well.
Yes, I'm sure that's all marvelously interesting, but to be honest, I couldn't care less about what became of that G5 shit. I, for one, have other things troubling me. Which is why, pardon me, I'm going to forcibly end this topic right here. I have something to ask of you, Twilight. Well, actually, demand would be the more fitting word.
Okay, charming for starters. What is it?
You do know my brand settlement in Candelot, the Candelot Carousel?
Yeah, what about that? For the last time, no, you're not gonna get tax exemption just because we're
shut it, it's not about that. It's this! Today I got this letter in which I was informed that the Flim Flam brothers had just purchased my boutique without my consent.
Without your consent? Wait, Flim Flam brothers? They're still a thing? I thought they went and retired after the show ended. The fuck are they up to now?
Retired? Oh no, Applejack, they are as active as can be. Ever hear of Maritime Bay? They're the ones who made the place what it is. And it appears they did not stop at this one location. In fact, all over Equestria they began buying up stores and businesses and gaining more and more control over the market.
Really? I find that kinda hard to believe. You think that something as large-scale as these hostile takeovers wouldn't go unnoticed?
Actually, you will, Fluttershy. Or have you forgotten that we only then ever notice things when we're directly affected?
Indeed, like with my boutique. I can't believe those bastards just bought up my store without me even hearing about it. Oh, and by the way, it's you who now hears about it the first time, but evidently I, as Fancy Pants of the Candlelit Country Club, was well informed. It just didn't matter to me because I believed I was above that threat. It seems not, however.
You know, I'm glad we learned so much from the collapse.
Yeah, though honestly, that part still ain't make no sense to me. How did them brothers just buy up your store without y'all being involved?
Maybe I can shed some light on this. It's actually completely legal. You see, it's a new law I established shortly before my whole orphanage ploy. Every building in Equestria now has a set price tag calculated on the estate's base worth and state. If you got the money, you can just buy the property without the owner's consent.
What? What kind of criminal scheme is this? Why would you make such a law?
Well, that way any building that my government might need for something can just be nationalized. I admit it might have been better to preserve that right solely for the government, but then I'd have to endure those accusations of despotism and tyranny, and I really didn't feel like that. So when every pony can just take the home of someone else with enough money, it's not so bad when I do it too.
I ain't even got to bother with another rant on how low you're stooping, Twi. If anything, I'm impressed that you're giving Rarity a run for her money by who's the worst pony in our group.
I'd say she clearly surpasses me. Now even I am affected by your stupid law. And the Flim Flams just keep on buying up stores with their growing wealth. Soon they'll establish a giant mega monopoly. which I must say is an admirable feat, but if it's over my businesses, then it's a step too far. We need to do something about them.
Well, I guess I could revoke that law, but that doesn't undo any purchases they made up until now. Other than that, we can't really just go and stop them like they're some villains, you know?
I don't know, ain't they basically villains?
Even if not, isn't it our job to determine who's a villain in this world? We're the heroes after all.
Well, basically yes. But the thing is, being morally reprehensible or just plain evil isn't necessarily the same thing as being a villain. I mean, look at Rarity.
I am so sick of hearing it. I'm not evil. Cold-blooded, sure, without compassion or care for others, on point, but not evil. I find that term to be insulting. It makes it sound like I take pleasure in the heartless things I do.
Oh, so now you don't know what? Call me judgmental, but you did give that impression, Rare.
How ridiculous. Of course I don't find joy in enslaving fools and having them work for me. I just don't feel remorse for it either.
Fine, but my point stands. The same applies to the Flim Flams. As shady as their practices are, they're still within the confinements of the law.
Oh, I just had a brilliant idea. Say, child labor is also prohibited in Equestria, isn't it?
I would think so.
Good. Then listen up, every pony. I have a plan. I shall contact Yona in Nigeria and have her prepare a shipment of my workers across the ocean. Meanwhile, I'm going to use my candle of contacts to find the most important and profitable businesses the Flim Flam zone, and once my workers have arrived, I shall send them to secretly infiltrate those businesses.
And they're just gonna accept fools who offer themselves to work there? Like Twinette said, child labor's illegal here, and the Flim Flams know that.
No, they won't be stunned to work there. They'll just find a good spot to hide until the time is right. Once everything is set up, Twilight will receive an anonymous hint about those stores and start a police raid. To then stumble upon the poor and exploited fools the evil Flim Flam brothers have enslaved.
Ah, I see. I like that idea. Very devious.
I do what I can, thanks.
Nah, I don't know about this. Wouldn't we just basically be framing the Flim Flams for something they didn't even do? Isn't that itself also highly reprehensible and amoral?
No, Pinky. We are the good guys, therefore it's okay. Now, this will surely collapse their entire business and ruin their reputation.
Yeah, I like that. Plus, I get to look like a hero again when I save those poor slaves.
Well, actually, I was thinking more like just a pretend save, you know. However, I suppose it would be too hard to organize shipping them back to Nigeria after all that commotion, especially without it being noticed. Fine. It does make a difference. They'll come back. They always do.
What do you mean?
There's always some pony who thinks they can make a better living someplace else, and they ungratefully run away from my mines. But they're very quick to discover that without me, they won't make it for long.
Why's that?
Well, because I don't just employ any fools. I might be an unscrupulous capitalist, but I'm not stupid. I wouldn't do anything unwise just for the sake of being cruel. Like snatching ponies away from their families. No, that would attract way too much attention. The fools I hire are usually the ones who have no place else to go. Orphans, street fools, whom nobody wants anyways. I'm actually doing the community a favor if you think about it. They get work, food, and a place to stay, while the streets are cleared of mostly thievious fools. It's win-win.
Well, that's nice and stuff, but you're still not getting those fools back.
And where are you gonna put those?
Like Rarity said, they're orphans, street kids. No pony wants them. So they're going to my orphanage, of course.
Are you sure that's a good idea? I mean, those ponies don't know a word of English. Or do they, Rarity?
More or less.
Well, to be honest, I don't really care. That'll be the orphanage's problem. Like anything about that, it's all just for publicity. I might be a better pony than Rarity, but I'm not Mother Teresa.
Y'all remember when Twilight used to be something like a good pony?
Hey, I am a good pony. I'm giving those orphans a new home. And Rarity's not getting her sleeves back. That is a good thing, or not?
Yeah, but you're doing it for all the wrong reasons. Just pure self-serving.
My, those commoners. Give them a hoof and they ask for the whole leg.
Tell me about it.